Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saeed Mohammad Ali Rizvi, and this is the case study presentation for the course Electric Machines. The topic which I have chosen is various approaches to high efficiency of electric machines. This is the outline which we will be following. First, we are going to discuss motivation, then losses minimization, then intelligent control of electric machines, then fuzzy logic, and superconducting electric motors. So the motivation behind this choosing this topic is simply that we all know that the world is facing a very serious challenge in terms of energy demand for energy and power production, right? And we also know the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 7, which essentially asks us to ensure access to affordable, which asks us to ensure access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable modern energy for all. So you might be considering how is that related with the high efficiency of electric machines. Well, over than 40% of the generated electricity is consumed by industries worldwide, right? And two-thirds of that energy and electricity is basically utilized by electric motors and machines, right? So primarily when we think about energy, sustainable energy production and renewable energy production, we also need to think in terms of energy savings and energy minimization, consumption minimization, right? So already we are producing huge amount of electricity and energy, right? But that energy also contributes to a lot of energy wastage and power losses, right? So high efficiency motors or high efficiency electric machines essentially guarantees us a lot of power savings in terms of reducing losses and minimizing energy wastages, right? So now we're going to discuss the power losses minimization. Well, there are primarily two types of losses. One is no load losses and the other is load losses, right? And in the no load losses we have three types of losses: stator iron losses, friction loss, and windage loss, right? So what is stator iron loss? Stator iron losses are present due to the energy required to magnetize the core material, and they include losses due to creation of eddy currents that essentially flows in the core, right? Moreover, they can be reduced by using better electromagnetic steel, right, and magnets, and moreover lengthening the core, right? Moreover, when we talk about friction losses are present due to the friction in the bearings, as you can see in this picture, right? And they can be reduced by adjusting the correct dimensions and essentially selections of those bearings which essentially have less coefficient of frictions. These are the windage losses. Windage losses are essentially those losses which are caused by air resistance, and these can be avoided or significantly reduced by choosing an appropriate air design flow. Now we are going to see the load losses, right? So there are basically three main types of load losses. One is the stator winding loss, second is the rotor loss, and third is the stray load loss. So the stator winding loss, which can also be called I square R loss, it is present due to the passage of currents through the resistance of stator windings, right? And these can be decreased by optimizing the stator slot design, along with if we have a very strong iron core to magnetize or to maximize the magnetic field strength, right? Coming to rotor loss, so basically rotor losses, which you can see in this picture, right? This is a picture of rotor. They also have an I square R loss part, which is caused by the current which flows through the rotor, right? Moreover, they can be decreased by increasing the size of the end rings and conductive bars to lower resistance, right? Thirdly, we are going to talk about the stray load losses, and stray load losses are essentially those are also called additional load losses, and they are present due to the leakage front, right? And in the windings and imperfections in the air gaps, right? So these are also very technical losses which we need to think about and take care about when we are designing a motor, right? And they can be decreased by minimizing the deviations in air gaps and changing the slot geometry. Now coming to electric motors, right? Now coming to the intelligent control of electric machines. Uh, Here we talked about electric motor drive systems. An electric motor drive system is basically a system which controls the motor, right? And it makes it works by controlling the speed, torque, and commutation if it's applicable, and various other parameters, right? So in this section we talked about in being of implementing intelligent control of electric machines, right? And we looked at a paper which implemented this using fuzzy logic, right? So we also briefly discussed that its various other implementations, like intelligent control is being used for pattern recognition as well as parameter identifications and various other potential areas, right? So what we need to discuss here is that the benefits of electric intelligent control, right? Why intelligent control is very necessary and it's very useful, right? So the most essential key point of intelligent control is that it's self-learning, it's uh, self-learning, which makes it uh, better over time, and it gets more efficient and more productive and more uh, useful over time, right? So what it does is that if we implement intelligent control of on electric machines, electric motor drivers, it what it does is that it provides us energy consumption minimization of the electric machine, whichever we are using, and it also provides very increased reliability, right? So this is the purpose we have chosen this as a second approach to utilize or to achieve high efficiencies in electric machines and motors, right? So like we discussed that in the paper which we used to discuss in our research paper and a case study, they implemented the intelligent control using fuzzy logic, right? So in this slide I'm briefly going to discuss about fuzzy logic and what it is. So fuzzy logic essentially resembles human reasoning, right? So instead of Boolean algebra and Boolean logic, computer logic in the form of 0 and 1, fuzzy logic essentially resembles human reasoning. And it says that, like you can see in the picture of an automatic braking system, fuzzy logic says that either you're 0 or it's not, it doesn't say that you're 0 or 1. It says that you're partially 0, or you're somewhere here or somewhere here or somewhere here, or you're absolutely here. So it essentially has a range of possibilities, right? So like us humans, it tries to resemble that complex behavior into its programming, right? Now the important part here is that fuzzy logic controllers, right? Those controllers which essentially implement fuzzy logic are very special and very useful, right? So the paper implemented the fuzzy logic controllers, right? As you can see in a control closed loop diagram here, which essentially uses the fuzzy logic based controller. Here is our plant, but whichever machine or motor drive which we want to control, and furthermore that drive system is controlling other machines and other machines and motors. So as you can see, we have just put a feedback loop in the fuzzy controller, and this fuzzy controller essentially ensures maximum productivity of our motors, and it also ensures that energy is very minimally wasted, right? So another important thing about fuzzy logic controllers is that it has a very promising variability in input parameters. Moreover, it talks about member functions, right? So not very detailed in knowledge about the system is required in the fuzzy logic controllers. Moreover, information in the fuzzy logic controller is described in fuzzy sets, right? And these fuzzy sets are made precise or are made better through membership functions, right? So membership functions are essentially used to connect parameters and to give meanings to the linguistic variables which are used in fuzzy logic, right? Moreover, another point here was that the intelligent motor, it also talks about conditioning and monitoring of various components and equipments. So, and by doing so, it also makes sure to to achieve high efficiency. Now, lastly, we are going to talk about the superconducting electric motor, right? So, in this part is very brief. We're going to discuss. We're going to see superconductors, STS materials, and superconducting electric machines, right? So, basically, superconduction is a phenomena which says that at temperatures very close to absolute zero, certain materials conduct electricity, right? And with very negligible resistance. So this phenomena is known as superconductivity, and till around 1950s it was thought that superconductivity is only attainable at at temperatures very close to absolute zero, right? But in the towards the end of the 20th century, scientists found out that there are certain materials which at high temperatures also conduct superconductivities under special conditions, and those are termed as HTS materials, which essentially stands for high temperature high temperature superconducting materials, right? So this is just a picture of a superconducting material, which essentially is showing magnetic levitation, which essentially states that when materials become superconductors, they exhibit very special properties such as magnetic levitations and very negligible electrical resistance, etc., etc., right? So the third paper, which fourth paper, which I used in my case study, it essentially talked about using superconductors in making electric motors for a full electric aircraft, right? And these are the design which this is a sample design which was proposed by NASA, right, for an so full electric aircraft, right? So in this design, the rotor and the stators both were proposed to be made up of full superconducting materials, STS materials, and which essentially ensured very high efficiency levels, right? So in that paper which I discussed in my case study, it was observed that with the use of STS materials in designing the electric motor, they were able to achieve very optimum power results, which basically supported the argument of utilizing superconducting materials in order to significantly improve the efficiencies of electric machines and motors, right? So these were three of the some of the very basic and while basic but innovative approaches to achieve very high efficiency levels. So thank you, that's it for today.